All right, today we're diving into something truly wild. It's a document found in a 19th century safe that weaves together NASA missions, the Bible, and the motion of the planets. And its goal? To completely flip our whole idea of time on its head.
So picture this. You've got this old, rusted-out Diebold safe, right? It's been sitting at some old estate, broken for who knows how long, and inside someone finds a stack of papers. And these aren't just any papers, they seem to connect everything. We're talking space flight, ancient scripture, you name it. We have no idea who wrote them, but what they say, well, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, so the core idea here is it's simple, but it's also completely radical. You know how we think of time? As a straight line, yesterday, today, tomorrow, one thing after another? Well, these documents, they throw that all out. They suggest that maybe, just maybe, everything is connected, all happening at once, like a giant tangled web instead of a straight line.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The document doesn't kick off with, a bunch of math or scientific data. No, it starts with a poem, a really strange philosophical poem. And you quickly realize this isn't just for decoration. It's the instruction manual.
So this poem is basically our key to the whole thing. It's telling us, hey, forget about your calendars. Think bigger. Think of time as this constant dance of light. And it gives us this crucial warning. Words are deceptive. It's basically prepping us, telling us to get ready for some serious riddles.
And I really want to hammer this home. This poem isn't just a pretty intro. It's literally the instruction manual. It's the philosophical key you have to have if you even want to try to crack the codes that come next. Okay, so let's get into the first big puzzle and see just how deep this rabbit hole goes. And it starts with something that seems, well, completely out of left field. A list of NASA's Gemini missions from the 60s. Yeah, seriously.
So you look at this, and it just looks like a boring, old list of launch dates, right? But nope. Hidden inside the numbers for just the last 5 missions is a code. And it is an incredibly complex one, just sitting there waiting for someone to figure it out.
Okay, so here's where we get to see the method in action. And honestly, it is absolutely wild. The process is just nuts. First, you take the days the rockets launched, and you connect them to specific verses in the book of Revelation. I'm not kidding. Then you do a word count on those verses to pull out specific words, you turn those words into numbers, and then you solve an anagram. It's this unbelievable multi-layered cipher linking the space race to the Bible. Who thinks of this stuff? So, you do all that mind-bending work. And what do you get? A single, very strange word, SCUS. What on earth is SCUS?
Well, it turns out SCUS is a database code for a type of plant. But, and this is the killer twist, the document itself tells you that this whole insanely elaborate code, linking NASA, the Bible, botany, it's a red herring, a complete dead end. It was put there on purpose just to make you stop and question what the heck is even going on.
So think about that. The first puzzle, this massive, complex thing, was a total misdirection, a fake-out. What does that tell you? It's like the creator is trying to say, hey, the real secrets aren't where you expect them to be. You got to look in the most ordinary places. Which brings us to the next piece of the puzzle. And it involves something we all use every single day, the calendar. It's about to be turned into a cosmic calculator. And the way it does this is, again, just totally bizarre. The instructions tell you to pretend the months of the year are hours on a clock. Then you're supposed to calculate the missing time in minutes for each month to finish its hour. It's a completely weird, out-of-the-box way to think about our calendar. So you go through this whole weird process, you average out that missing time across the leap cycle, and you land on a really specific number, 354.333.
And here's the mind-blowing part. That number, it's not random at all. It is the length of the lunar year, and it's 99.99% accurate. I mean, think about that. A fundamental astronomical constant was hiding in plain sight in our everyday calendar, and the only way to find it was with this strange clock-based system. That's incredible.
All right, so we've gone from NASA to calendars, and now for the final piece of this insane puzzle, we're going even bigger. We're scaling up to the cosmos itself. The document points us to 2 very specific solar eclipses.
Remember that safe? Well, inside it, there was also an old astronomy book from 1887, and in that book, 2 pages were folded down, marking the paths of 2 total solar eclipses, one from 1966 and another one
way off in the future in 2091.
And this is where it all starts to click. It's all about the connections, right? That 1966 eclipse, it happened just one day after the very last Gemini mission. Boom, there's the link back to our first puzzle. And then there are handwritten notes in the book that connect the Saros cycle numbers for both eclipses, that's the way astronomers track eclipse families, to specific psalms in the Bible. See? Everything is connected to everything else.
And just for fun, as one last little cryptic clue, the document points out that if you take the times of the eclipses and turn the numbers into letters, you can rearrange them to spell the word win. It's like a final little wink from our puzzle maker.
So let's just take a breath and recap this whole thing. We started with a poem about time. That led to a puzzle involving NASA, the Bible, and even botany, which turned out to be a dead end. Then we found a super accurate calculation for the lunar year hidden in our calendar. And finally, it all gets tied together by 2 solar eclipses that are 125 years apart. It's just an absolutely incredible web of connections.
You know, when you get to the end of it, you realize this document doesn't really give you an answer. It gives you a question. It's designed to make you think, to make you see the universe as this deeply interconnected place. And that's really the final thought to leave you with. If patterns this complex, this impossible seeming, are hiding just under the surface of everything, what else are we missing? What other connections are we just not seeing?